You're listening to the Warrior Supercast podcast.
This is news from Winton Woods City School District.
Today, we're going to talk about fine arts at Winton Woods.
Hi, I'm Tijah Griggs. I'm in a cappella clarity. I'm also in varsity ensemble and orchestra.
Hi, my name is Evan Stumpf. I'm a junior, and I'm in one of the a cappella groups here at the high school. I'm also a drum major in our marching band. I'm a part of our symphonic band as well. I do jazz band and the pit who plays the music for the musical.
My name is Cari Sullivan, and I'm a senior, and I am part of Clarity, our pop a cappella group, one of them, varsity ensemble choir, and I'm a part of the theater department as well.
Yeah, I forgot one thing. I'm also the president of varsity ensemble. I don't know how I forgot that, but just at the high school alone, there is one marching band, 2 different bands that play during concert season. There is 5 different choirs and 1 orchestra, and that's just during the school day. I know after school, there's a chamber orchestra, there's 2 pop a cappella groups, there's a drum line, who kind of ties along with the marching band. There is jazz band. I think that's about it for after school activities.
We also have theater. we do a fall play every November, and we do a spring musical every April. And I think that's all of them. I would say being a part of fine arts is really important to boost the morale of the students at school, because if there was no choir and there was no band and there was no musical, then we would just come here and we would do math and we would do science and we would do English, and those are fun and all, but every day I look forward to going to choir, and then I look forward to going to a cappella after school or going to musical rehearsal or any of those other things that I do, because I do them because I love them. Nobody's forcing me to do them. I really enjoy doing them, and so I look forward to them every day. It makes me want to get up and go to school. I don't skip class or anything because I'm like, I gotta go to choir,
Yeah, I agree with Cari. Waking up every day, I'm excited to go to school. Not always for just music, for regular classes too, but I thoroughly enjoy doing band and choir during the school day and doing extracurricular music groups as well. It really helps us with project-based learning too, working with other people while doing these music groups. I think we could all attest to that. It really helps us when we're in the classroom, working with our classmates on a math project, when we were just singing with 30 different other people. It really helps our personal skills, and it helps us work together. Also, a big part of our music program is the family aspect to it. It's a really close-knit family, and we're all friends. We all know each other, and it just brings a really good fellowship and family aspect to the school day.
I agree with Evan and Cari. I mean, they went so into depth about what the music department at Winton Woods has to offer. It's family, it's social skills and different learning abilities, and a getaway from a lot of things, even in your personal life. So I feel like that was great.
Doing these programs has helped me learn how to be a leader and how to lead different types of people. I have leadership positions in the band and choir, and it has taught me a lot. There were some growing pains at first, but I'll continue to develop as a leader as time goes on using these programs, and I'm really ready to take it to college. When I'm in the classroom as a freshman, I hope to be a leader of my classroom, and in the workforce as well once I get there.
I would say that, in these groups with all these different students, there's a lot of different mindsets and different perspectives when it comes to, making music. Everybody has a different take on it. It's entirely subjective. And especially in smaller groups like a cappella, we might, clash sometimes, and we might argue over things, and we might fight. And it helps us to develop our personal skills, skills to overcome conflict and to make compromise, which is so important in the workforce, because you're never going to be working with just people who you agree with. There's always going to be a difference in opinions, and you're always going to have to overcome that somehow for the greater good. Because if we're just fighting all the time in, choir or band, we're never going to get anything done. So we have to be able to overcome that so we can, do well at competition or do well at our concert. And I would also say we read a lot of articles about how music affects your future and your adult life in choir especially. And something that they always bring up is that musicians are really, and artists as well, are really on their toes all the time. We have a really good sense of what to do when something goes wrong and how to kind of make stuff up on the spot to save ourselves, because you never have a perfect performance. We may be in the middle of a performance for the musical and somebody forgets a line, and so we have to fix that right away. And it's an extremely important skill to develop, is your skill to overcome things like that just happen, and you need to think of a solution fast. And that's something so important that we get from these programs.
Being in music teaches you, like Cari and Evan said, the important skill set of knowing what's next and being prepared, and dates, times, everything that you have to do when you become an adult and you get older, and these life skill sets. And that's why I think that music, that's how it affected me. I was personally, I was never on time, always late to everything, still kind of am. So yeah, it helps you more prepared for life and gives you those life skills that you need.
Music requires, and art as well, but I'm a musician, so I'll speak to music. It requires a lot of both sides of your brain, right and left, because obviously there's the creative piece where you're making a piece of art, but either by yourself or with other people, and you need to employ the expression of the phrase and the way to kind of communicate what you're trying to say through your art. But then also there's that really technical piece to it where the rhythms have to be exact and the notes have to be exact and tuned perfectly. And it's very much a science, trying to perfect your piece before you can add in the art. And so I think it really does include a lot of both. You start off with the very technical, let's take this, a beat at a time, a note at a time, and make sure it's absolutely perfect. And then you kind of add in that art of, okay, are you feeling the music? Do you have the character in mind when you're singing it? And I think that's really cool that we get to do both at once, not just one like some people might think.
Well, how I perceived it, for me personally, was before I was even a musician and wanted to sing, I was so good in reading and literature and books and all these words, just putting things together. I could make a essay in less than 20 seconds, to be honest. But that's what I feel it connects, it uses both sides of the brain, like you were saying, how the words in a song, the feeling of it can connect with the words in a book or with a scripture, or it's just the powerfulness of using both sides, and it's just really magnificent. That's why I love it.
Music helps us a lot with being creative. It really frees our mind. I was reading an article the other day that talked about how listening and performing and practicing music lowers your cortisol levels in your body, which is the stress hormone. So it helps us during the day when we go to music classes. It really helps us relax and take a break from our school day, so that it gives us a nice refreshment, so we're ready to take on the rest of our classes for the day. It also frees our mind. We get to think. We get to take songs that we're singing that could have a little meaning or could not, and we get to interpret them how we want to. We do a lot of that in choir and band, I'm sure orchestra as well. And we're just taking songs that sometimes don't even have words and creating our own stories to it. So it really helps with creativeness, which is something that's very important, and it's becoming a necessity to be able to land a job in the 21st century. And it's a big thing that employers are looking at, and so are colleges.
When I first got to high school, I thought that I was going to be like a science major. I was going to do medicine because, I didn't really know what else to do. And when you don't know what to do, you're like, I'll be a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher. So I picked doctor. But through my education here at Winton Woods and the opportunities that I've received as a music student here, I eventually changed my mind, and now I am going to go to college for vocal performance.
I've always loved working with people, and seeing how my teachers have impacted me and how they work with my peers has really inspired me and wanted to become a high school teacher. So I do plan on going to UC and getting a degree in secondary education, and I would love to come back and teach at Winton Woods out of all places. That's my goal. But all my teachers, but specifically music teachers, they just have a way of connecting to the high schoolers and really helping them out with life skills and just becoming better people, not always worrying about how good they are at music, which is really cool. And it really shows me how teachers can get their students well-rounded instead of just pushing them to be the best they can at the subject they're teaching.
Like Evan, I'm also a people person. I want to be a psychologist, especially after high school. I'm going to UC. UC Large, yeah. Right, after high school, and I love helping people. I love talking to people about their situations. I know when I was younger, I had 2 therapists. So they were really helpful to me, and they made me like grow into the person I am today. So that's why I want to give back. And yeah, the coolest thing I was able to do, because of the fact that I am a musician at Winton Woods, was go to Cincinnati Pops. I think that was like, working with the Cincinnati Pops Orchestra was one of the best experiences I've had. Like, I loved it. It was so fun, inspirational, inspiring. And since I'm a singer and a musician, I got to see both sides of it. So I loved it.
The coolest thing I've ever gotten to do, because I was in the music program at Winton Woods, is go down to Disneyland in Florida last summer with the marching band and march in a parade around Disneyland, and see other bands play and just have a great time with all my friends.
The coolest thing I ever got to do as part of the Winton Woods Fine Arts program is put on 7, soon to be 8, amazing theatrical performances on our own Dave Bell Auditorium stage. The next of which is going to be Mary Poppins. I will be playing Mary Poppins in Mary Poppins. So if you'd like to come see it, it's April 12th through 14th. That's Friday through Sunday. And the Friday and Saturday performances are at 8 p.m. and the Sunday performances at 2 p.m.
So you putting in effort. Are you ready for the new